A new monster has been created in Los Angeles. The Lakers are no longer living in the shadow of LeBron James. They are building the next basketball empire around Luka Doncic. But becoming the face of the Lakers is a challenge only legends survive.
A lot has changed in Dallas. And let's talk again on Jonathan Kuminga. I'm told the Lakers and the Cleveland Cavaliers are among the teams seriously pursuing Kuminga. There are a couple other teams as well poking around this situation. But both the Lakers and the Cavs would have sizable roles, potentially as a starter for Kuminga. But they would need a sign-and-trade that works for the Atlanta Hawks, who declined his team option for this summer, as well as a number that Kuminga would accept as well. Those conversations are ongoing.
Okay, so speaking of the Cavaliers here, in pursuit of Jonathan Kuminga, but they didn't leave this weekend completely empty-handed, right? They agreed to a one-year deal with Mario Hezonja. Shams reported that it's a name American fans, they haven't heard in a while, but you remember he was a top 5 pick, right, in 2015. He hasn't, though, played in the NBA since the bubble in 2020. Hezonja has been playing for Real Madrid, where he was named the league MVP this last season. So, Shams, where do things stand with Cleveland now? It sounds like they still are looking to make some deals here.
Yeah, their priority is to upgrade this team, especially on the wing. So Mario Hezonja is a start for that. They're able to bring him in. This is a better minimum contract, though. So this doesn't preclude them from going out and doing some kind of a sign and trade, some kind of a deal for Jonathan Kuminga. But it's, can they find a deal that works for Kuminga, for them? They're dealing with apron issues there. Does the deal work with the Atlanta Hawks in a sign and trade? And then the other issue that they're dealing with as well is James Harden. Sure. He still has not signed his contract. There's full expectation that James Harden will be back with the Cavs. I'm fully expecting these two sides to reach an agreement on a new deal here soon.
Shams, it's interesting that you mentioned the word expectations, because when we're thinking of veteran minimum deals, it went from LeBron James potentially to Mario Hezonja. So that's a range. Not saying, I'm not trying to diminish overseas basketball, because if you're getting MVP of a overseas league, you're still putting in work. You got to put respect on that. But I feel like we were so close to saying, all right, maybe LeBron James puts this team over the edge, right? A team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals. But now it's like, where are they in the mix? The East has been an arms race. You've got Toronto pending with Kawhi. You've got Giannis in Miami. You've got JB relocating, and now LeBron in Philly. The Knicks are the reigning champs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have
Detroit was the number 1 seed and through the regular season.
So I'm looking at Cleveland, and I agree, because these are the top teams, right? Cleveland in some ways and Detroit, and we should talk more about Detroit, but that's how the competition has quickly shifted. And so I look at the Cleveland Cavaliers roster, I'm like, is that enough? It's almost like I'm willing them to exercise the demons to be competitive, but it just sort of feels like they're back to where they were with
LeBron. He's taken his talents to Philly. So what does that blockbuster decision mean for the rest of free agency? Shams is going to give us the latest. Plus, we're not done swag surfing with the WNBA. Incredible moments over the weekend. But with tensions rising, could this be the last season for Kathy Engelbert as commissioner? And before he suits up for the Sixers, we thought we would take a look back at some of the best of LeBron.
I deserve a crown on me. So me. Championship of motor rings.
So the 76ers, they shared this footage of LeBron's number 23 uniform hanging in the locker room. It's going to take a little getting used to here, but LeBron is already co-signing this. And then Heat fans, they're punched in the air somewhere, because today...
To me, this is leadership. You see, a lot of people, Wendy, tell me Luka's not really a leader. And I say, how do you know? It's very hard to be a leader when you join somebody else's team and that person is LeBron James. Who's going to take over and be the leader over LeBron? So for me, Luka, whether it's, we talked about this at the commercial break, buying bicycles for everybody in the organization, doing things where he makes a donation to fire victims when he first gets to town, buying out the parking lot across the street from Crypto, and now bringing or taking the whole team essentially to a Backstreet Boys concert at the Sphere. Now you're bringing everybody to your home country saying, my team, this is where I'm from, this is how I train, get to know who I am. That, to me, is the beginning of Luka being the leader of his team. I'm curious, Wendy, feedback on what I'm selling.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of getting to know a player's background. It's kind of hard to do when you've got 15 guys. You know, you can't go to everybody's background, but teams try to do this sometimes. Like, if I'm not mistaken, Dallas, the Mavericks played somewhere in Europe a couple of years ago, and on the way back they stopped in Madrid because Luka's sort of second home is Madrid. He played for Real, and I think he lives there. And well, now he's got the custody thing, so I think mostly in Slovenia. But in most years before, he would spend a big chunk of the offseason in Madrid, and they stopped and saw his play. They hung out in Madrid for a while with him. So it's not the first time that there's sort of been that he's done this sort of group stuff. So, but I've never been to Slovenia. I've been to that kind of part of the world, and I've just seen that it's very beautiful, and I think it's cool to get the team off on the right foot. At the end of the day, you still got to execute on the court. All that stuff is it's not worth nothing, but it's only worth what you back it up with when you're playing. But no, I think I thought it was a cool thing. I liked it, and if I was on the Lakers, I would be totally down for going and spending a few days in August in Slovenia. I think it's a great time to go, and you get to learn about Luka.
A new monster has been created in Los Angeles. For years, the Lakers were not simply LeBron James' team, they were LeBron James' kingdom. Every decision, every championship dream, every headline revolved around one name. But now, the crown has officially moved. The Lakers are no longer preparing for life after LeBron James. They are building the next basketball empire around Luka Doncic. And that might be the most dangerous transition in the NBA. Because replacing a legend is impossible. But becoming the next legend? That is the challenge Luka now faces. The pressure in Los Angeles is unlike anywhere else. You are not just expected to put up numbers. You are expected to carry the history of Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and LeBron James. Every mistake will be amplified. Every playoff failure will become a question. Is Luka really ready to be the face of the Lakers? But inside the organization, something different is happening. The Lakers are not treating Luka like just another superstar. They are building around him. They are creating an identity where Luka is no longer following someone else's legacy. He is creating his own. But while Los Angeles is building around its new king, another major battle is quietly developing across the NBA. Because several teams are fighting for a player who could completely change the balance of power. The next major NBA battle is centered around Jonathan Kuminga. According to league discussions, the Los Angeles Lakers and Cleveland Cavaliers are among the teams seriously monitoring the situation. And this is not just casual interest. Both teams see Kuminga as a potential difference maker, a young, athletic wing, a player who can attack the basket, defend multiple positions, and bring the energy that championship teams desperately need. But there is a major problem. Any deal involving Kuminga could require a sign-and-trade. The Atlanta Hawks would have to be involved. The contract numbers would have to satisfy multiple sides. And Kuminga himself would need to agree. This is where NBA negotiations become a chess match. One wrong move can destroy an opportunity. For the Lakers, adding Kuminga would represent something bigger. A commitment to building Luka's supporting cast. Because the NBA has changed. Superstars cannot survive alone anymore. You need athleticism. You need depth. You need players who can protect your franchise player when the pressure reaches its highest point. And Cleveland? They may need him even more. Because after missing out on one superstar, they are desperately searching for another solution. And Cleveland's desperation became even clearer when they made another move this offseason. A move that showed just how dramatically the NBA landscape has changed. The Cavaliers entered this offseason dreaming about adding a superstar. At one point, there was real conversation about LeBron James potentially returning. Imagine that. LeBron coming back to Cleveland. A reunion. A championship push. A final chapter. But instead, The Cavaliers agreed to a one-year deal with Mario Hezonja.
A completely different level of expectation. Hezonja was once a major prospect.
Selected 5th overall in the 2015 NBA draft. But he has not played in the NBA since the 2020 bubble. Since then, he rebuilt his career overseas. And last season with Real Madrid, he became one of Europe's biggest stars, earning league MVP honors. Respect must be given. Winning anywhere is difficult, but the reality is brutal. Cleveland went from dreaming about LeBron James to hoping another piece can help them stay competitive. And that shows how quickly the NBA changes. The Eastern Conference is no longer waiting. It has become an arms race. Toronto is chasing major moves.
Giannis Antetokounmpo's future remains a massive storyline.
Jaylen Brown has changed teams. LeBron James is now heading to Philadelphia. The Knicks are defending champions. Detroit finished as the #1 seed during the regular season. The battlefield has completely transformed. But while the NBA world reacts to LeBron's next chapter, the biggest question may not be about LeBron anymore. It may be about whether Luka Doncic is ready to become the leader of the Lakers. People have questioned Luka Doncic's leadership. They ask, can Luka truly lead the Lakers? But maybe they are asking the wrong question. Because leading a team is difficult when you join someone else's kingdom. Especially when that kingdom belongs to LeBron James. How does anyone become the leader while playing beside one of the greatest players in basketball history? Now Luka finally has his moment. And his leadership is already showing away from the court. From connecting with teammates, to bringing the organization closer together, to inviting the Lakers into his world. The message is clear. This is my team. This is where I come from. This is who I am. Leadership is not always about yelling in the locker room. Sometimes it is about building trust. Sometimes it is about making people believe they are part of something bigger. Luka, bringing teammates into his culture, his background, and his home country creates something statistics cannot measure. A connection. But there is one final truth. None of this matters if it does not translate onto the court. The Lakers can create chemistry.
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.